It may be ironic that I'm telling you how to farm 6 gear per year and I don't even use the 6 myself, but PR9 is almost here and some of you may need to follow the strategies in this video instead of being that guy who complains it takes 6 months for 1 gear and 10 months to max 1 season ships. By following these 100% working strategies, you too can get 300 rainbow gear blueprints in a year and buy 50 of the previous season from the proto shop for a total of 7 research gear per year, excluding Gear Lab. Disclaimer, the 100% working strategy does not apply to players with bad luck, so don't sue me. The patch notes are out and we see that Ta 152C 1R14 is the rainbow gear. This is Max Immelmann's Skip Bomber, meaning it'll almost certainly be for single target bossing. Will it make carrier fleets meta for bossing again? In World of Warships, it has high explosive skip bombs. What will its armor mods be in Azur lane? How will it compare to Skyraider, Tenrai, and gold converging torpedo bombers? Will you want 2, 3, 4, or even 5 for a fleet? Find out in the next episode. Now you will learn how to farm 6 of them in 1 year with average luck. Not that you need that many, but you can farm 3 of them in half a year and do whatever you want for the other half until PR10 drops. The first thing to note is that these two pictures are different. Why is that? The rainbow and gold gear drop pool is the same, but you can't see, but the chances of each blueprint and the time taken by each project are different. If the only research projects you pick are those that require commissions, sorties, or nothing, then your progress will be about 1/3 as fast. We skip the actual rates because all we have is Chinese empirical data from 4 years ago, but rest assured, for I highly doubt the rates have changed in the past 4 years. So these are the projects you should pick for 2 different strategies. Projects are identified by a letter and an hour's duration. For example, this is G because the first letter is G and it is 4 hours long. And this is a B project and it's 4 hours long. This is G project and 1.5 hours long, and so on. There's also the season at the top. Obviously, seasons other than 9 will not drop the Ta 152C. Pickup just means the season of the project matches the season that you're focusing, which by the way should be 7, 8, or 9, preferably not 7 at this point unless you're close to finishing it. See Cheeky's research guide in the description for details once it's updated for PR9. So you can focus on getting the ships to Dev 30, or you can focus on getting 1 rainbow gear per 2 months. For example, if you want the gear focus, then you look at your 5 available projects, choose the best one on the list that also matches the desired season, and queue it. For example, in this hand of 5 cards, you would pick the G4. If none of these 5 projects are listed in this list, then you will use your daily reset. Well, the daily refresh should fit before the fastest reset in this list. If you already use your daily refresh, then see if your queue and your sleep schedule can allow you to wait for the next day's refresh, and if not, then you pick the fastest reset project. One thing I do is that if I use a refresh early in the day, then I will lean more towards picking longer projects. For example, I'll take a 4-hour G over a 1-hour queue. If you follow this gear focus strategy and you keep research going consistently using the queue system, because some people don't know this queue system exists, then you can expect 1 rainbow gear in 55 to 60 days with average luck. This has been the average for me in the past 4 years through highs and lows, and it's also the expectation that I approximately simulated using project spawn and drop rates from China. So the 2 strategies from the previous page are pure gear focus and the ship focus. I actually go with gear focus, but I bump rainbow ships research up a bit. I'll take a 2.5 hour D for rainbow ships, but not a 5 hour or 8 hour rainbow ship D, and definitely not a 5 hour or 8 hour gold ship D. That yields a small drop in the rainbow gear rate, but I get the rainbow ship Dev 30 earlier. And yes, with this strategy, it is expected that the rainbow ship you focus on will reach Dev 30 before any of the gold ships. Keep in mind that after you finish Dev 30 all of the ships, then you can switch to gear focus. For example, if you were on gear plus DR ship focus, or if you are on pure ship focus, then once you're done with the ships, then you can switch to pure gear focus. So you don't have to be stuck with this 3 to 4 months per rainbow gear for the whole year. Or if you're a new player, you can switch to another season's ships. For most players, I would recommend one of these 2 strategies for moderation. You can choose based on what you need and how strong the ships or gear in the season are. Now I will show you an example of filling up the queue. What you should not copy, however, is the fact that I have no project going on. So let's say I'm doing gear focus because that's what my thumbnail is about. In this list, I would pick the G4. As I said before, this is the same screenshot that I put on the slide. So pick G4 and then queue it. So that goes in the queue. And now I can pick another project, which is going to be the 0.5 hour D. And it's not just because this is a rainbow project, it's because it's actually good for gear focus. But of course, it's not good for players who don't have enough cubes, like let's say like 500 cubes or fewer. If you have over 500 cubes, then feel free to take it. You should take it. This is the second best research for gear focus. If we go back here, 0.5 hour D, both rainbow and gold 0.5 hour Ds are the second best research. So queue that. And next we have a G4 again. G4 is the highest on this list. So let me just read it out. It's half hour Q followed by half hour D, 4 hour Q, 2 hour Q, 1 hour Q, 4 hour G, 2 hour purple E. This is the kind of E that tells you to scrap 15 gear, and then followed by 1.5 hour G. Then 2 hour blue E. This is the one that asks you to scrap 8 gear. These are the only two kinds of E projects you should take. The other E's that ask you to submit tech boxes or submit gear blueprints, they're all shit. Then we have 2.5 hour D, and then you go to the refresh and the reset. So back to the example, 4 hour G, Q, then we have 4 hour G again. This is a Q2 hour, but it's on a bad season. I mean, that's a season I don't want. Well, it also happens to be a bad season for gear, because it's a cruiser gun, heavy cruiser gun. So G4. And then we have the E2. I basically memorized the list. I can just look at it before this message even fades away. Now I can't queue this because I need to satisfy the conditions first. So if you don't have any spare gear in the depot, you can just enhance some strips or retire some ships. And now I can queue it. Now we have Q4, 4 hour queue. I'll just give you more time to see the other ones, but I can instantly see that the 4 hour queue is there. And my queue is full with 5, and now I can't queue this until the first one of the projects is done. So that was an example of a full queue for gear focus. So again, just follow one of these two lists, and you should be able to do a season much faster. And that's step 1 towards being a boomer like me.